Even if we try our hardest, we can potentially influence their attitude or influence their personality or influence the way that they treat us. But ultimately, we can't do anything to change anybody on this earth except.
Very encouraging, very inspiring, and she actually motivated me. She was so authentic and very personable, and it really made me feel like I relate to her story. What do I aspire to be? Just the best version of myself.
You are listening to Unleash the Podcast, revolutionizing the way women grow, work, live, and lead. Engaging interviews, insightful book reviews, and timeless gems to aid the modern woman in excelling personally and professionally. Hosted by the multi-passionate Tabitha D. James, Unleash the Podcast not only empowers listeners, but also equips them with applicable action-based resources for daily life.
Friends, and welcome to this week's episode of Unleash the Podcast, where we will be talking about attitude, something we all have and all can use and audit on sometimes, because oftentimes we'll get a little bit too stuck in ourselves and forget to choose our attitude in the positive direction, because as stated on the last episode, when things go wrong, do not go with them. But before we dive into the episode, I just want to give a few quick Unleash event updates. On March the 14th, we will be having the Unleash Online Summit featuring Renee Reed from Higher Optics. Everything, Google ads, Facebook ads, SEO, being seen online, how to manage what that looks like in the online space as a team of 1, 2, 5, 7, small teams, solo teams. This one is for you. Ticket information is in the show notes. Secondly, Unleash Live podcast recording. Tickets are now available for that event that is going down April 9th, Columbia, South Carolina at Converse Space. So details to both of those events in the show notes. Head there, get them. Now let's talk attitude. So attitude is something that we all have, right? We all have one. We can get stuck in it sometimes, and we can often obsess over things that we just cannot change. And a quote that I love by the Dr. Maya Angelou says, if you don't like something, change it. And if you can't change it, change your attitude. Change your attitude. There are certain things in this life that we just can't do a doggone thing about. And oftentimes that's wrapped up in other people, right? We can't control other people. We can't control the way they operate. We can't control their attitude. We can't control their personality. Even if we try our hardest, we can potentially influence their attitude or influence their personality or influence the way that they treat us. But ultimately, we can't do anything to change anybody on this earth except ourselves. So when it comes to choosing our attitude, I relate it heavily to our topic from last week with adjusting. When things go wrong, do not go with them. Choose a level-headed, steady-minded attitude each and every time. And that doesn't mean you won't rant and you won't go off on the plug a few times with certain things, but it does mean that you have that balance to just re-energize and realign yourself and get your attitude back to where you want and need it to be in order to operate in the highest level of yourself. And that's essentially where you want to operate. You don't want to operate from a place of who you were. You don't want to operate from a place of who you aren't. You don't want to operate from a place that someone else somehow pushes you to be. Because in choosing this attitude, we realize that, or we should realize, I won't say we realize, but we should realize that we're in control. No one makes you pop off. Maybe something that they do or does or did influences you in such a way that you're angered and then you pop off, but no one can make you do anything. No, I'm going to repeat that. No one can make you do anything. You are in ultimate control. So you have to set that pace. You have to form that discipline. You have to set your mind in such a way that you're like, you know what? I'm going to be positive. I'm not going to react negatively, and I'm going to move forward in the most kosher way. It is oftentimes not easy. If you caught me on the Book of Faces, the Facebook Live recently, I talked about it. I am going through some challenging times that are really, really, really pushing me to choose my attitude with people, especially in the leadership space. I am learning to not only have patience, but have a multi-level of understanding, because every person has a different just makeup. They have a different background. They have a different current situation, and they ultimately have a different future plan. And so oftentimes you want to respond to person A the same way you responded to person Z, and they're drastically different human beings. And so you have to adjust yourself, especially in that leadership space, and be able to do that in such a way that you can sleep at night, right? Or you can not be known as the snappy leader or something that you don't want to be seen as, because as I work to choose my attitude and emulate who I am, not who I was, or not intimidating who I think I want to be, but just authentically being who I am. I know how I want to be perceived. And now I can't help if I'm not perceived that way, because I can't help someone else's understanding. But what I can do is work my darnness to ensure that I'm choosing my attitude in such a way that it exudes the personality traits and the leadership traits that I want to be put into the atmosphere. That's doggone hard, right? And choosing that attitude every single day, that the glass is full and never half empty, it's not always easy, and it's not always smooth, and it's not always the first choice at mind. So you definitely have to take that old saying of thinking before you speak and really ingrain that into your system. When you think about those 3 P's of positivity, planning, and prevailing, you have to use all 3 of those times 5 to really choose your attitude. Do not get so stuck in the situation or the other person. Get more wrapped up in who you are and what you want your attitude to be. And that's really that on that. If you are trying to, or wanting to, or planning to manifest anything, launch anything, pivot in any way, climb the ladder in any way, you will realize that choosing your attitude will help some more, because there'll be tough times, there'll be tough people, there'll be times when you want to beat everybody up, including yourself. It will take you choosing your attitude, channeling your inner peace, connecting with your higher being, and doing all of that over and over, washing, rinsing, and repeating that time and time again in order to keep yourself level enough to get said thing accomplished. So this choosing your attitude thing is something that really, really, really will be valuable as you take whatever it is you're working on to the next level. Especially my creatives. Everybody knows I have that love for my creatives, especially my creatives, because oftentimes we have ideas, we launch projects, we want to partner with folks. Things just are coming left, right. You want to do things, and you might get in the pits, right? Or you might work with someone and you really thought it was going to be a good fit and it really wasn't. And you're like, or you forgot to be clear in the contractual agreement. And now you're like, so there's several times where choosing that attitude just keeps reappearing. Even if it's in the corporate space of you wanting to move up and it seems like opportunities are not coming your way. It takes choosing your attitude to not be nasty when you go into work after those situations. It takes choosing your attitude to not continually wonder what you did wrong or what wasn't good about you, or why did that person, or all these things that come to mind. Choose your attitude. Choose the way that you not only respond to others, but the way that you talk to yourself. You can either be your biggest cheerleader or your biggest naysayer. That choice is yours. all yours, my friend. So I will leave you with a tweet from the Tiny Tab Twitter. If that's not one of the social spaces that we're on, let's make ourselves friends there, or IG, or the Book of Faces, wherever you choose. There are a few things in life we can change. Our attitude is one of them. Drops mic. Tips from Tab. There are a few things in life that we can change, and our attitude is one of them. We have 100% control over our attitude. Let's take that, let's grab that, and let's move forward in the most positive way possible. Okay? So I hope that there are some little nuggets from this attitude chit chat that help you out. Okay, because I really want to be a cheerleader for you. I am a cheerleader for you. And so being a part of your cheerleading squad, and I hope you're a part of my cheerleading squad, we have to choose those attitudes, because it is so easy to get wrapped up in the energy of others. But that's not what we're here for. We're here to have that infectious energy that other people need to get wrapped up in. Okay? That's what's happening when we unleash our greatness in whatever corner of the world we're in. So continue to do I get to the end and can't talk. Continue to do that. Unleash greatness in whatever corner of the world you're in. And until next time, catch you later. Right before you go, friend, don't forget to rate, review, and share the podcast. This really has nothing to do with me, but it's more about the impact. The more you do that, it will help us to reach others, help others to be able to unleash their unique greatness. So before you go, rate, review, and share.
She was very encouraging, very inspiring, and she actually motivated me.